So all throughout Pride Month, a lot of what we're talking about is how there is going to be kind of this culmination of people who are just completely and utterly fed up with the nonsense and the virtue signaling, right? There is something waking up in this country, and it happened a couple of weeks ago, and Bud Light was the originator of it. It's actually quite amazing when you think about it that Alyssa Hershonide, right, whatever her name is, she is the originator. She is patient number zero. She is ground zero for what ended up turning into the awakening of such a massive group of people that is now culminating into this culture war that's existed for quite some time, but now it's ramping up to the point where we have our own bigot army. You know what I mean? It's insane, which, by the way, you should join. But we have an article here from good old California where it says protest over Pride Month assembly at Los Angeles school turns violent. Reports of fights break out over a book reading about inclusive families force police officers to separate clashing groups. Now, to be honest with you, if you look at this picture, right? If you look at this picture, the crowds will look pretty even, I would say, but I would guarantee you that this crowd is actually much bigger than this gay crowd right here. Guarantee you. And I love what the signs are saying. Teach my kids math, science, and English. Good. LGBTQ cool. Child sexualization not cool. I mean, it's such a simple idea, right? Such a simple mindset, but we're going to get into it, guys. But of course, before we do, just consider giving this video a like so you could push us out into the YouTube algorithm, and consider subscribing because we're on our way to 23,000 subscribers. It says a protest over Pride Month assembly at a Los Angeles elementary school reportedly broke out into fights, forcing police officers to separate groups of protesters and counter-protesters who clash over the school's teaching of LGBTQ plus issues. What issues are those? I have no idea. I have no idea because as to my knowledge, LGBTQ people have all the rights in the world that every other regular straight person has. The only thing that is being talked about and banned right now in terms of law is the gender transitioning and mutilation of children under the age of 18. If they want to be mutilated after 18, then unfortunately they're considered an adult and they're able to do whatever the hell they want. But that's the only thing that I know of that's being talked about or even banned in some states. But overall, LGBTQ people have the same fucking rights everybody else does. They just want to be celebrated for having sex with the same sex, which for me just doesn't seem like something to be celebrated, because if I don't want to celebrate straight sex, I definitely don't want to celebrate gay sex. It means absolutely nothing to me. But unfortunately, to people who make their entire personality their sexual orientation, it means the world to them. It says tensions at Satakoy Elementary School, part of Los Angeles Unified School District, has been rising since last month over the Pride Assembly the school has planned to hold on Friday. The event included a reading of the Great Big Book of Families, which includes details how different family structures, including single parents, LGBTQ parents, grandparents, and foster parents, said Kelly Gonez, a member of the Los Angeles Unified School District Board. Now, I do find it interesting that they want to push this book that talks about different family makeups that notoriously lead to worse issues in the household, right? They're very much against the nuclear family. The nuclear family not only scares them, but it angers them. It angers them because it's something they could never have, right? It's something that they say they don't want, but at the end of the day, they all wish that they could have a mom, a dad, and some siblings. It is the nuclear family that has worked since the start of time, but now, only now, through deviancy and through overall just idiocy, they want to now try to get rid of the nuclear family, because when you do, you make the entire American household more fragile by doing so. Remove dads out of the house, make women into single moms, make them reliant on welfare and government assistance, and now you have a victim for life. That's essentially what they want. It says on Friday, people protesting the event gathered outside wearing t-shirts emblazoned with "Leave Our Kids Alone," great shirt by the way, I want one, and carrying signs with slogans such as "Parental Choice Matters" and "No Pride in Grooming." According to reporters with the Los Angeles Times, the scene outside the school devolved into violence as protesters against the assembly chanted anti-gay slurs, and LGBTQ plus advocates tried to block the protesters from advancing. Some people threw punches, but their identity was unclear. The Times reported, leading officers to jump in to stop the fighting. I would almost guarantee, without even knowing what happened, I would almost guarantee that the LGBTQ group was probably the one that started to throw fists first. I'm just saying, there's no guarantee of that. Obviously, the other side could have done it, but I've seen plenty of videos that shows that when there's only one person who's against this stuff and there's a crowd of LGBTQ people, they are still the ones that notoriously end up throwing the punch first versus what would be considered regular or normal straight people. So I would be more inclined to believe that. It says a social media page has urged parents to keep their children home the day the school was holding the assembly. It's not clear who started the page, which also includes phone numbers and email addresses for district and school officials, urging parents to call them to protest the event. I think there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. You're a public employee, right? You're a public official. Your information is out there. They should be able to call you and contact you in protest. 100%. I agree with this. There's nothing wrong with this, and I'm glad that the parents are actually getting off their asses and doing something about this. Getting involved with their children's education. It's something that is absolutely more necessary than ever. If you're not going to homeschool your kid and you're going to put them in one of these indoctrination camps, then it is best to actually try to be involved to the best of your ability and be there for your kid. That way you know exactly what they're being taught, who's teaching them, which is more important, and their surroundings. It says protesters against the assembly outnumber those who were in support. Hey, so I was right. They did outnumber those who were in support. Some protesters identify themselves as parents of students in the district, but would not give their full names during interviews, saying they had only agreed not to as a group, citing safety concerns. Broadly, they said that they felt elementary school was too young to discuss LGBTQ issues. Ariel Aldana, whose 6-year-old son attends Satakoy, said she didn't know about the assembly until she dropped him off at school on Friday morning. She joined the protest against the assembly and said it was frustrating that the school didn't tell parents about the topic ahead of time. Why would they? Why would they? They don't want the parents to know, people. These school districts do not want you to know what they're teaching your kids. They want to indoctrinate your kids, and they want to get the information out there before it is ultimately too late for you to do anything. The chances of you being able to change your kid's mind once the school has got their hands on them is almost slim to none. So it's important for them to get it out there as fast as they can, and for you to not know about it. It says Aldana said she did not feel it was age appropriate for elementary school, which it's not, but added that she thought it would be fine for when her son is in middle school. It has nothing to do with where he is in development, she said. Ray Jones, who uses the pronoun they, said they are a drag queen in North Hollywood and does not have children in the school, but thought it was very important to show up to support queer visibility. I just don't stand for that in my community, Jones said. If I'm going to go to a pride parade, then I'm going to show up for a pride protest. Jones said they believe LGBTQ topics are appropriate to teach at elementary school. The demonstrators who feel otherwise, they said, are sending the wrong message to students who have queer parents. The Instagram page called Satakoy Elementary Parents had called pride an inappropriate topic for our kids. In one post, they said they feel Christian families and those who share conservative values don't feel this material is appropriate to teach to the children and believe it's a parent's right to choose, which it is. It is 100% a parent's right to choose. And as a parent, I've said it before and I'll say it again, you need to be involved overly so with your kids. You need to be literally obnoxious with it. You have to be, because if not, somebody else who wants to push their agenda is going to be obnoxious with it. They are having no problems being obnoxious with pushing their ideology. So why would you not be obnoxious being involved in your kids' education? You need to be. Make them annoyed. Who gives a fuck? Be involved with your kids and make sure you know who's teaching them and what they're being taught. It says in May, transgender teacher's small pride flag displayed outdoors was found burned. Good. The school notified parents saying it was being investigated as hate motivated. Or you should just be flying the American flag. I mean, it's just, again, this is just an idea maybe I have, but still. Earlier this week, the school's district teachers union issued a statement saying there's no educator that should have to go to work in fear. Well, then stop creating divisive environments that end up causing the fear of your employees. United Teachers Los Angeles condemns the egregious behavior by bigoted protesters that outed the gender identity of a teacher at Satakoy Elementary, the union said. Well, isn't the whole thing to be proud? Isn't the whole thing to be proud in who you are and your gender identity? So why would you be mad that people outed the gender identity of a teacher, right? So if they're trying to be a certain gender, why would you be upset that that was outed, right? You're supposed to be proud. You're supposed to be proud of who you are, right? You're an adult. If you're a teacher, you're an adult. So you're supposed to be proud of who you are. That's the whole reasoning behind pride, isn't it? So apparently you're not proud. Apparently you're trying to keep it hidden and you only feel safe around elementary kids. That just feels very strange to me. And I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, it is only a matter of time before they end up adding M to the acronym of LGBTQ. And when that happens, these protests are going to look like nothing. They're going to look like small fireworks compared to the explosions that are going to happen in protests when the actual M word gets added. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.